Hey, what's up? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back to another video. So, a lot of people ask me about the LG G8X Thin Q in 2024. So, just keep in mind this phone was actually released, you know, way back in November 2019, which is crazy. And I remember I wanted to get this thing before like foldables were out or whatever. So, I remember this was the phone that I wanted because it had this right here, which is the dual screen on this. So one thing a lot of people said about this phone with the dual screen was that this was a mirror finish. But one thing about it is it attracts fingerprints really easily. So it's basically like definitely like a mirror finish. After a while, you're gonna just forget about the fingerprints and just forget they're there. So I really like this accessory when it comes to using this phone. I think that's why a lot of people would want to pick it up. I'll show you some gaming later in the video, so make sure you stay locked into the end of the video. If you're brand new to the channel, I truly appreciate you for coming through if you're new. But if you're already a part of the crew, salute. So yeah, like I said, this is definitely going to be nice. It has an attachment at the bottom, so you can actually um, charge it while you're using it magnetically. So I have that like in my dresser drawer. So it's not here right now, but that's definitely a very useful accessory. And then one of the things about this one is it's the same thing. Like it's going to attract a lot of fingerprints on the back. It does have that glass finish. So it's going to also scratch very easily. You can see the fingerprints on there. But one of the things is that I do have that case on the right, that green case, because of the fingerprints. But you can see the flush camera system. We'll talk about that in just a second. But you can see that they're flush into the phone. So like there's no they don't stick out. It's not an extra part that wraps around it. It's actually built right into the glass. I think they should actually bring this back. This is really, really crazy. It's very, very innovative too. It makes the phone feel very simplistic and slick. So when you hold it in the hand, you don't feel anything on the back. Like I said, it is going to gather a lot of fingerprints like while you're using it. You get your power button right here, and you can see right here I do have a screen protector on the front, which actually has a crack in it. And I actually thought it was just the screen protector that cracked. It's actually the phone glass that cracked too. But one of the things that's crazy is because the tempered glass screen protector was like on it, it was able to there's no damage on the display. It's just cracked, but it still has like you can still use it basically. This thing is still going to be very usable in 2024. I think it's got the Snapdragon 855 in it. There's no 90 hertz or 120 hertz refresh rate on this display, but the display is absolutely beautiful. It's an OLED display that can go up to um, you know 1080 2340 pixels per inch. It's got Gorilla Glass 6 always on display on here as well. So you can get all your apps on here running with the Android 12 system update that's on here. So obviously that's going to be an older system update, and you're not going to get newer updates when it comes to using this anymore. But if you didn't care about that, obviously the phone is going to be really good still. It's going to have be able to download all the apps. As long as you still get updates in the Play Store, you're still good when it comes to using it. You still get app support running on here. It's still really fast as well, with the Snapdragon 855, and you can use it for gaming. This device, I'm not sure if it actually supports a macro SD card, but we'll check right now. But if you go ahead, you got the slot right here up top. You can go ahead, put the pin in there. And yeah, you do get actually an SD card expansion on this device as well, which is really crazy. So they give you the ability to use an SD card to expand the storage on this device, which is awesome. So that's like a quality you don't see on phones nowadays anymore. So that's definitely going to be a solid feature when it comes to using it. And yeah, if it everything just flows really quickly. on here. You know, there's not too many stutters when it comes to opening up apps. TubiTube, you know, you can see everything's going to open up pretty nicely. The screen is going to be gorgeous because it's that OLED panel. So when it comes to, you know, deep blacks, it's going to be really good. With when it comes to blacks on here, you know, they're going to be very, you know, true to true colors. They're also going to give you punchy colors. So the reds give you a really good vibrant look to them. I definitely think that the reds and the yellows, they do pop out at you when you're looking at the display. So that's definitely another thing that's pretty solid. This device does also, you know, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more detail with the case in just a second. But yeah, let's talk about the speakers. So you're getting a dual stereo speaker setup when it comes to this device. It does get pretty loud. Let me see if I could find anything in the files on here so I could play you just a quick sample to show you what it sounds like. So let me just go to files real quick. All right, let's play this all the way up, raise the volume. All right, so yeah, let me know what you guys think about the speakers right there. I definitely think the speakers do still a really good job now, like in 2024. So yeah, this thing does have an FM radio. It does have USB 3.1 and OTG, so you can get HD 4K out and stuff like that. You also do get aptX HD when it comes to the audio, Bluetooth 5.0, which, you know, obviously it wasn't released when Bluetooth 5.3 and 5.4 were out. So, you know, 5.0, you know, that's still really good. It has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. So, as far as the battery, it's pretty, you know, good. It's an average battery. It's not going to be like the best in the world, but you can get a full day with this. Wireless charging as well is on this device too. And so that's going to be another solid, and it charges at a 9 watts wireless charging and 21 watts uh, fast charging, which is actually really good for when this device was released. So I could definitely say that was solid. It came out at like $560, but obviously now you could get it for like $100. So I definitely think this is a steal. It's got a 13 megapixel camera set on the back, and then on the front it's got like there's a 12 and a 13, the ultra wide, and then you also have a secondary camera on there too, which is the wide, and then you also do have a 32 megapixel selfie camera. So when it comes to taking photos on this device, this is where it gets crazy because it's still like really good. And you could do the night view because it is dark right now. So let's just take a night shot, and that shutter speed is good, and you can see the photo just looks very clear. Like there's no issues with it whatsoever. So I don't have any problems with that photo whatsoever. I can still use that even now. So I definitely think that the photos are going to be really good on here. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about, besides the battery life being pretty good, especially if you use the case on here, obviously it's going to affect the battery life a little bit. Obviously, one of the negatives is you won't get software updates or support when it comes to using this anymore. So that's just something I want to throw out there. When you put it in the case though, that's when it becomes a new experience. You can just hit this button that says turn on dual displays, and then you could kind of just do your own thing on both displays. You could like look through pictures on one side, or you could open up a wallpaper app on the other side, and you could just start using it, kind of messing around with it, going through your photos. And this is actually a pretty good deal on both displays to be able to actually like do that. And you could kind of mess around with all the different wallpapers on one side while you're doing something else on the other side. So that's one of the things that I really think is really cool. And then you also do get this desktop mode right here, which is really solid. So now you can start playing around with it in like both screens. So that's when it's actually cool, when you can use two separate screens. Obviously, they have features built right in on the side where you can kind of get your shortcuts for both screens. And then I did activate the wide mode right here, which gives you the ability to use both screens connected. And that's not going to be that fun because obviously there's going to be that gap in the middle. And so you're going to see that, like, obviously you're going to see that. So you can open up apps like once you're in. Actually, I have to log into Spotify right now, so I'm not logged in right now. But you can see all the notifications come in on the display on one screen, so you can kind of see. That's going to be kind of cool. And you know, I did read books like this at some point where I was reading them on the double screen, but obviously, you know, it's better to just kind of use them split screen and kind of get like both of your apps running on both sides, so you can see. Now you get that split multitasking. So yeah, this is definitely going to be really solid. I think that's going to be not super solid when you're using this thing. You can kind of switch between both screens and kind of mess around with each one. So you could do multitasking. And so if that's something that interests you, then you can hit this button where it lets you swap the screens. So now I have the other one running on this side. I think they had that same clip of Mike Tyson on Instagram and IG. The same thing. That's crazy. They're pushing that fight real heavy. But yeah, you can see that's going to be really smooth. They're going to run really nice. And then when it comes to gaming, if you want to just open up like PUBG or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. You could do that. Obviously, it's not going to have joysticks, but you could probably put, you know, a joystick around it, like one of the joysticks that you could probably use with this is this one right here, the Easy SMX. So that would definitely work with this one too, with the Type-C compatibility. But let's just jump into a quick game. I'll show you guys how it actually plays. I was playing this for a couple of hours the other day and I kind of got addicted, but let's see if I can remember like the buttons and everything, because that's going to be the only challenging part, is remembering like the button memory, because you know, it's virtual buttons, not actual physical buttons. So that's the only thing that's kind of challenging. I'm gonna keep having to switch the cameras though, the camera angles, but at least you get two different camera angles, so you could kind of see how it looks on both camera angles. So like, yeah, it's very accurate when it comes to this thing. So let me show you. Let's go. Reloading. First point for the red. So like, yeah, it's very accurate. So like, yeah, this is crazy right now. This is real crazy because it feels so like realistic or whatever. All right, so I don't got the hang of it yet, but I'm gonna get the hang of it. At least get one kill, you know what I mean? Be pretty awesome. Like, it has the time, date, and day on the front display. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot of fingerprints on the cover display, no matter what. So as soon as you touch it, those show up, but it's like a mirror, so you can basically see yourself in there. And then the other thing is that when you're using this, it does give you the ability to like flip this backwards. So now you could use it like a regular phone, but the only thing is that then this side can get scratched if you place it down. So I wouldn't recommend doing that unless it's on a smooth surface. You get the in-display fingerprint, which still works pretty good too. So let me just show you that real quick. Yeah, so that works really nicely. And then the only thing is that this thing doesn't have Face ID on here. So when it comes to this, you have to use that in-display fingerprint. But I don't mind it because it works 99% of the time. And then it's not that thick either. You can see that when it comes to looking at this, there's like not really any gap like between the two displays. So you can't really see any air gap when you have those, when you have it flat like that. So it's actually a pretty thin device even when you're using it with one display. But yeah, two displays, it makes it very useful. And I think that's what's awesome. I also do like the flush cameras on here. Obviously, the fact that it does give you some really cool features, like waterproof, IP68 waterproof. So you could use this device, um, 30 meters. And then it also does have wireless charging. Let me see if it works through the case. Yeah, I think it's working through the case, but let me take that out and see something real quick. So as soon as you pop it out of the case, the display turns off. And then when you put it on the charger, now it's charging. It gives you the animation that it's wirelessly charging. So yeah, this device is really cool. In 2024, I think it's still really worth it. But let me know what you guys think. Would you still pick up a LG G8X Thin Q in 2024? I think if you did pick one up, you would have to get the AT&T version so that you could get Android 12, and then it would have to be running on an AT&T network to get like all the updates. Unless other than that, you'll probably be stuck on Android 10. So I just want to mention that as well. But yeah, it's still pretty cool. It definitely holds up when it comes to like using this thing, like overall. So let me know. If you're still here, just type down below, I'm still here, so I know you're still kicking it with me. And I just want to remind you to hit the like button so we can get this video out to more people. And I'm going to hit you guys back. I'll check you later. Peace.